Hey guys, welcome to my video for my pickups for August 2018. Today is Saturday, September the 8th, 2018, and I didn't get a whole lot this past month, but I do have a few cool things to talk about. Well, you can see my Lions shirt here, waiting for the new season to start on Monday and to see how badly they can disappoint us yet again this year. So let's get on to the pickups. First one here is the only digibook, is the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory release on Blu Ray. You see how sparkly that is in the front. It's pretty cool. This is a replacement for the original Warner DVD, and I had the original Warner DVD from the I don't know, late to mid 90s, and this is a big upgrade. I'm sure I haven't watched yet, but I'm excited to see the transfer, and I'm sure it just blows the old DVD out of the water. So yeah, it's a big upgrade, and I'm glad to add another digibook to my collection. Next here is the release that everyone got. This is Deadpool 2. There's some glare because it comes with this little slip cover. So I don't know if this is the exact version everyone got, but this is my preferred version of all the exclusives, the Best Buy Steelbook. There are 4 discs. And you can see, if you saw an earlier video of mine, I was complaining about how poorly Fox handled the release of the Die Hard Collection Steelbook. And they were able to do 4 discs in here just fine. They couldn't fit 5 in the Die Hard one for some reason. I've seen the movie already, haven't watched this particular version. I'm going to check out the extended cut or the unrated cut or the alternate cut, whatever we're calling it. See how it differs from the theatrical cut. I think I enjoyed the first one and the second one just about as much. So again, not a huge comic book fan, but I think doing a character like this, or like they did with Logan, you know, an R-rated movie like this is a great platform. And they're enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. And it's another Steelbook, and it looks cool. I think it's the best version that came out, and I'm glad to have it. Some more Steelbooks here. This is Life Force from Scream Factory. Have not watched it. I opened it just to check the discs. I heard one kind of flopping around in there, and it ended up being okay. It's Blind Buy. I've never seen it before. I know this was an elusive release on Blu Ray for some time, and this is actually a new 4K scan. Plus, it's a cool Steelbook, so I guess it's vampires in space. I've never seen it, but I plan on watching it soon, and I hope it was worth picking up. Next one here, again, Scream Factory. This is their Steelbook release of The Howling on Blu Ray. This replaces my MGM DVD that I got back in the day, and again, I'm sure we're going to look at improved quality on this. And I think it's an underrated werewolf movie. I think The American Werewolf in London gets all the praise, and rightfully so, as one of the best werewolf transformation scenes probably ever committed to film. I think Silver Bullet gets a lot of attention, but The Howling is, I don't know, it's a Joe Dante film. I don't know, maybe it's not underrated, but it doesn't get talked about a whole lot. But I don't know, I'm kind of excited. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm excited to give it a watch and see how it holds up. Speaking of blind buys, Miami Connection. This is I don't really know anything about it. I think I saw a thread on Reddit that it was for sale on the Draft House Films website. It was $10, so I picked it up. The cover art's goofy as all hell. It looks like it's a lot of fun, so I'm kind of excited to see it. I watched the trailer, and I was all in. Once I saw the trailer, I went ahead and bought it. It just looks like it's a lot of fun, so I'll carve out some time one day and give it a watch and see if it was worth the $10. The next set, is the Predator 3-movie collection on 4K. The disc case itself is exactly the same artwork, a little thicker than a normal Blu-ray case. And again, Fox, you know, they were able to stick 6 discs in a package here for everything except for Die Hard. That's just crazy. I'll get over that one day, I guess. But I've gone through the first 2 films. I've actually never seen Predators. I've never owned Predator on any format before. I thought the transfer for the original film was kind of ho-hum. It wasn't fantastic. But Predator 2 looked great. Just blew me away. It looked like they shot it yesterday and just pressed the disc and threw it out there. It looked really, really good. So I don't know what the difference was, if the master for the original just was in poor shape or if this is the way they wanted it to look. I have no idea. But Predator 2 looked great. Probably one of the best transfers I've ever seen. It looked very, very good. I bet the Blu-ray probably looks just as good as well. And out of the 2, I watched them back to back recently when I got the set, and I think I enjoyed Predator 2 a little more. I like the futuristic look on LA kind of being a war zone. It kind of reminded me a lot of RoboCop, kind of this dystopian city just kind of falling apart and this weird gang wars going on. But it was a fun movie. Haven't seen Predators yet. I'm gearing up to watch the new film, The Predator. So I'm going to watch Predators and kind of get myself up to speed. But yeah, it's a good set. I know they released at least the first two individually just recently here on Blu Ray, or re-released them on Blu Ray in 4K. But this is a good set. I think it was worth the money to get all three in one collection, especially on 4K. So next collection here, technically a collection, is Ash vs. the Evil Dead, Season 3. I haven't finished the second season yet. The first season I really, really loved. There's the disc itself again, just basically the same. And I love the first season. And whatever we get, 3 seasons of the show, I think is beyond what anyone expected. I know there's talk of doing a 4th Evil Dead film forever and ever and ever, and we get 3 seasons, basically, one really, really, really long movie. So I do need to rewatch the first season and then watch part 2 and season 3 to cap it off. So this goes in my Evil Dead collection, and maybe this will be the last Evil Dead film ever made, unless they do more remakes. Who knows? If it is, I hope this was good, because the first season I really enjoyed. Let's see here, the next one, another blind buy. This is the limited edition of The Church. This is the Scorpion release. And I understand it's the basically Demons 3. And I think I've seen this before in a Dario Argento collection that Anchor did back in the day. And I know he didn't direct the movie, but he was a producer on it, I believe. And they released a bunch of films back in the day with that label, the Dario Argento collection, I think. But again, I believe this is the sequel to Demons 2. Demons, the original, is just a great, great, great movie. Demons 2 I thought was a little bit lacking. So if this is anything like the second one or the first one, I'm sure I'll really enjoy it. I really enjoyed the first one. Probably one of my favorite horror films, probably of all time. I think it ranks right up there. For me personally, maybe even with Reanimator, it's just a fun movie. So I'm hoping that this is just as good. All right, and the last one here is Brain Scan on Blu Ray from Scream Factory. And this was probably the most, or one of the most anticipated releases for me in the past year. I'm a really big fan of this film. I loved it ever since I saw it for the first time back in the day on cable. I owned it on Laserdisc back in the 90s. And yeah, I would say it's a great, great, great film. But I really do like it. I think the concept is really cool. Without really spoiling anything, the basic premise is Edward Furlong kind of plays a misfit character, hangs out at the horror club at school, and they're in the movies. The principal doesn't agree with, and he ends up ordering an interactive CD-ROM from Fangoria. And it's a game where you play the killer, and things kind of get taken a little too extreme, and he has to basically figure his way out of it. So that's the basic synopsis if you've never seen it. It is a good movie. It's not super, super great, but I really did enjoy it. Still do. I think it holds up pretty well. What does not hold up very well, though, is the visual. It's a very 90s film, especially the clothing for the female characters just reeks of the 90s. But if you can get over that, there's a fantastic soundtrack. Heavy metal, hard rock soundtrack is just spot on. That's just a fun movie. The guy that plays the trickster from the front cover there, kind of guides Edward Furlong's hand throughout the film, and you think he's helping him, but he's obviously leading down the path to do more and more bad things. But it's a really cool movie. Maybe a little ahead of its time, because back then, virtual reality, putting a headset on was kind of the big thing, and for this to take that into a little bit different direction, I think it was pretty cool. So if you've never seen it, go ahead and see it. I think it's a good release by Scream Factory, even though it's not labeled a collector's edition, even though it does not have a slipcover. I still think it was a really good release, and it couldn't have come out soon enough. I got it, watched it the night I got it, and maybe it didn't hold up as well as I had hoped, but I still enjoyed it, and I'll probably watch it a few times a year. It's just a good, fun movie. So yeah. So that's all I got for August 2018. Again, I'm hoping that the next few months will be a little different, because I'm a little more fruitful. As I said, that Scream Factory and Arrow has some other cool releases coming up, and maybe some more catalog releases. I haven't really seen what the slates are outside of that, so maybe there'll be some more things I'll get, or maybe find some cool deals on something. So Again, as usual, thank you for watching. If you have anything to say, I guess throw something in the comments, start a discussion on anything. Let me know what you thought on my pickups, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.